Hey guys, AI is totally revolutionizing the way we live and work. And obviously, it happens also for podcasting. I know about it because I've been in the podcast game for over 6.5 years now. And I've seen how AI has disrupted the game. So, in this video, I'll tell you how it is such a revolution, what it's changed for podcasting, for me personally. And I'll share also very practically how I use it, coming from someone who's not especially technical and wants to keep things simple so you can apply it to your own podcast too. So let's get into it now and how AI has been a revolution already for podcasting. So just to tell you, about 3 years ago, I was hiring a VA full time to do things like clips and making subtitles. And something like this would take him 20 hours per episode to do the editing, the publishing, the clips for social media. Right now, with the help of AI, I can do that in about 2 hours. So it's really changed totally my life as a podcaster. And actually, it's one thing that made me want to become a podcast coach, because I've seen that with those changes, you could have a very high quality podcast with only a few hours a week, when before AI, you needed to be almost full time on your podcast. And so I thought, okay, I got that formula. I want to share it with many people. I believe podcasting is going to be more and more widespread. A lot of people are going to start a podcast like they have an Instagram account. It's not going to be that big thing there used to be, mainly thanks to AI. So I'd love to share a little bit more about how I use it very practically. And I'll share with how I use it in my other channel, the Light Leaders podcast that I've had for 6.5 years, and also in this new YouTube channel. I use it mainly for four things: content creation, editing, clips, and the chapters and description as part of the publishing. So when it comes to content creation, I really like brainstorming with ChatGPT, especially for this YouTube channel, because when you do a podcast or YouTube channel with a lot of intention, for example, here I want to answer the questions and the pain points of conscious leaders who want to start, grow, and monetize a podcast. Well, before I shoot a video like this, I ask ChatGPT about what people are going to be curious about, or even what do conscious leaders who want to start a podcast are going to search online, so I can find them and answer their questions and help them. So I brainstorm a lot with ChatGPT. And that's the first tool I'm using. Most people know it by now. The other thing is editing. Big thing when you think of podcasting. A lot of people start a podcast, spend hours editing, and stop. They quit because let's say it's most of us, we don't like to spend time editing. I definitely don't like editing. And that's introducing the other tool that I love on top of ChatGPT is Riverside. And I've been using it for podcasting. I've done some due diligence. I know Descript, another tool, has great AI. There's many things, but guys, simplicity. If you're not an AI expert and a tech guy, and you're, let's say, a coach or a light worker, and you want a podcast, you don't need to become a top expert at all the things, become a master editor. That's not the most important. Actually, in that time of AI, it's good to use the tool, but also to remember that authenticity is super important, especially as we'll see more and more kind of very AI generic content that really lack authenticity and identity. So for editing, I use Riverside also. When I use Riverside as a software to record, first higher quality, but then they have an editor, and there's a few things that are awesome. For example, background noise. This used to be really annoying before, and this click of a button, it's gone. I really like that they create a transcript, so I can edit. If I want to remove a part, it's like a Word document. I can remove the text, it edits the video out. I like to create a teaser at the beginning of my podcast, so I just copy paste at the beginning of the podcast and copy paste the text, and it creates an edit of the video. So that's really amazing. There's something else. Yes, the smart scenes also. That's amazing, guys. With Riverside now, when there's two people talking, it alternates between the two people and me speaking and that person speaking. And this takes a lot of time if you have an editor that actually changes the angles of camera and all this. So super happy with that. For my podcast, The Light Leaders, I use that all the time. Even for episodes in person, but it's especially powerful for online. Now, for this YouTube channel, I don't like editing, so I actually do one take. So you saw me look at my notes earlier. I like to do one take with the whiteboard. That's my style because, again, I want to have this authentic vibe with you. I don't want it to be edited. And even for the podcast, there are some things that really aren't ready with AI and even Riverside. I don't use the remove filler words and silences option because the AI is not so smart yet, and it will remove repetitions and silences that are actually the flow of the episode. So when I listen to a podcast, I don't like that it's too cut and sounds robotic. So on purpose, I don't really edit the content of the episode. I like to keep it pretty raw, right? And in an age of AI where a lot of things are going to be really easy to make it like perfect thanks to AI, actually that authentic vibe, maybe a hesitation here and there, something where you feel more the humanity in the content is going to be an element to differentiate yourself and to actually get traction. I believe that. That's why here there's no editing. And in the light leaders, I use Riverside, but I don't overdo it. But all of this is going to get better too. They have also equalizer for the noise. A lot of little things that required editing now is done automatically. It's amazing. I use Riverside all the time. So I'll put a link. I have an affiliate also in the description. So if you want to use Riverside, I'd appreciate if you use my link like this. I get a little reward from it. Always nice. Riverside, I use it for clips too. So again, I have two channels with different strategies. I do that because as a coach, I want to be able to cater to different strategies also. So that's why it's called the lab, this channel. For my podcast, the Light Leaders podcast, I create clips for social media. Actually, as a parenthesis, that's an amazing growth tactic as I'm often interviewing people who have a big Instagram following. I create clips, I invite them as a collaborator, and when they accept, it shows on both our pages. So my face and my podcast is on many influencers' pages, and that really helps to get the podcast known through Instagram, through the clips. To create clips, it used to be a lot of work. You'd have this horizontal thing, video, and you'd make it vertical, remove silences to make it more engaging, type the subtitles. That's what my VA used to do 3 or 4 years ago, right? And I would pay him like more than $1,000 a month to help me on the podcast. Now with Riverside, I pay $30 a month. They have magic clips where they're created automatically with my design for the subtitle, and they automatically put it vertical. Cut the filler words for the clips. It's good because Instagram, you want that fast pace. Yeah, so grateful for that. For this channel, I don't do clips. It's only long form content because I just want to connect with people who can watch a 10-minute video. I don't want to start. My growth strategy is using the YouTube algorithm to get discovered. So I spend more time on the content creation with ChatGPT and actually on the chapter, well, here I don't do chapters, but on the description with ChatGPT also, because YouTube works as a search engine. And that's why when you do a podcast, you should also prioritize YouTube because people search stuff on YouTube. And so as I have a template with ChatGPT where it reads the transcript of the video and it tells me that's the description. I copy paste in my YouTube video and that's done. So easy and so good. So that's the description I do with ChatGPT for this YouTube channel. For the Light Leaders podcast, I use Riverside. Riverside generates automatically a summary and chapters. And for long videos, chapters are really good. For a 10-minute video like this, you don't really need chapters. But if you have a 1-hour interview, what a lot of people will do, they come on YouTube and they're going to look at your chapters and they'll see, oh, that interests me. They'll click, they'll listen to 5 or 10 minutes. And so it's really good to have the chapters there. It's also good for the SEO, for the when people research keywords, to have the chapters. So that's how I'm using AI, guys. I keep it simple. I'm using ChatGPT, I'm using Riverside, and with these two, it really caters to both my podcast where I do long form interview, like 40-minute to an hour interview, and also for this YouTube channel, we have a very different strategy, shorter videos, but very intentional. And that's how I use it. And so I really believe it's already been an amazing revolution. I've witnessed it, but everything is getting better and faster, right? So there's going to be a lot of new developments on it, and I can keep you posted on this. But that really allows you as a creator, as a light worker, as a coach to have a podcast with 3 to 4 hours a week. 3 to 4 hours a week, you can have a weekly podcast. Either it's a solo video like this on YouTube, or you could do interviews. That's really high quality, and that's really going to be supporting whatever you're doing, either supporting your business or just taking you on an amazing adventure to learn, connect with people, get better at public speaking, self-expression, build a personal brand, all these things. So obviously AI, it develops super fast. There's always new things. So I'm sure there's 100 ways I could optimize my processes even more with AI. I'd love to hear from you. Do you use AI for your podcast or for other things? What did you learn from this video? Leave a comment in the description of the YouTube video. I'd love to create a space where we mastermind on these things, and I read and reply to all the comments. Obviously, like and share if you want to support. And if you want to start, grow, and monetize your podcast and YouTube channel, I'm also offering at the moment free strategy sessions of 1 hour, totally for free, you and I, so we can brainstorm, go a little bit deeper, potentially even see if we are aligned to working together, but there's no pressure. I'm just happy to help conscious leaders get started and grow more. So let me know, and sending much love.